carry guns, do they?
Well, I didn't see it until then, yeah. Are you right?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, not bad.
Grand. You're perfectly at liberty to say no, because I expect you know the law quite well. Do you have any ID on you at all?
No, I don't, mate.
Would you like to account for your actions in the area?
A photographer walks past a logistics building, takes pictures of an art piece and 2 security guards. Innocent, right? Not to this officer. Watch how fast "how you doing" turns into a Section 43 Terrorism Act stop. The legal threshold for that power isn't "I don't like your camera." It's suspicion of hostile reconnaissance. And guess what? He's got nothing. But when one officer spots the camera, things go sideways fast. Thanks to polite camera action for letting us cover and break down this police audit. Make sure to subscribe to his channel and like his videos. His link is in the description below.
All right, not bad.
I think you probably know why we're looking to stop you, don't you?
Well, are you police or security?
Police.
Oh, yeah.
Not many security guards carry guns, do they?
Well, I didn't see it until then, yeah. Are you right?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, not bad.
Grand. You're perfectly at liberty to say no, because I expect you know the law quite well. Do you have any ID on you at all?
No, I don't, mate.
Would you like to account for your actions in the area?
Not really, no. Just taking photographs, that's it.
Okay. Under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, then I am going to stop and search you, given the fact of the position that we find you in, the buildings you have been taking pictures of, and the fact you've admitted to taking photos of
Yeah,
those
but this is a public
you
road,
haven't
though.
offered me any reason why. It's Section 43 of the Terrorism Act.
As I just said, I'm taking photographs, mate.
Yeah. What buildings were you taking them off?
I'm not taking them or anything, really. I'm just taking whatever I feel like. I'm totally entitled to take photographs.
You are.
Yeah, so what are you saying
then? Also,
then?
under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, I'm entitled to stop and search and stop and speak to anybody that I believe may be undertaking reconnaissance, hostile reconnaissance, or anything related to terrorism. And
so
also hang on, sorry, because
okay,
I haven't been impolite and interrupted you.
No, but I just don't like the idea of being searched for no reason when all I'm doing is walking around with a camera.
I'm giving you a reason.
Yeah, but I've given you a reason why I'm in the area.
The fact you're not willing to listen to it, that is somewhat arbitrary.
Yeah, but I've just told you why I'm in the area.
Okay.
I'm a photographer.
But if that's the case,
I've got a YouTube channel. I take YouTube videos.
If that's the case, then you're perfectly at liberty to give me your name and details, aren't you?
No, why should I?
Okay.
It's a free country.
I know it is.
We're not living in China, are we? Where you've got no rights to do anything. This is the UK, isn't it? Where you've got rights to do what you want. So,
which is also.
And I'm entitled to walk around with my camera and take videos for YouTube and stuff like that.
Well, the reports of people are telling me.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah. Just good.
TE06
yeah,
QP.
QP.
He's got his on as well.
Thank you very much.
So, like I said, Section 43 of the Terrorism Act gives me the power to stop and search you and obtain any details from you that you're willing to give to me.
Well, I'm not really.
Okay, if that's the case, then I am also at liberty to look at the memory cards, SD cards, and anything on those cameras.
Don't be silly. No, you're not.
No, I am.
No, you're not.
I am.
A court of law is the only person who's allowed to look at that.
Tell you what, then, you put your camera down, get your phone out, and Google it. It says I'm allowed to look at them to see what you've been doing. Because if it is a case of what you have been looking at is hostile reconnaissance in relation to terrorism.
Hostile reconnaissance to what?
Because you've been taking pictures of a building that is of a sensitive nature.
Well, that logistics building. I was taking first of all, I started taking pictures of the art piece on the corner there, and then I saw the 2 security guards, and I thought the 2 stood out there on the front, looking a bit mean, like they're protecting gold or something. And I was like, well, this is an interesting sight. So I'm doing absolutely no wrong, am I, with walking around with a camera?
You're doing wrong?
Well, so why are you searching me then?
At what point have I said you're doing wrong, though?
So why would you search me?
Right, at what point have I said you're doing wrong?
You haven't, but why would you search me if I'm not doing anything wrong?
I've just told you under the Terrorism Act, Section 43.
Yeah, but then that means you suspect me of being a terrorist.
It's a suspicion, exactly.
What, you think I'm a terrorist?
It's not an accusation, is it?
You suspect I'm a terrorist for walking around with a camera? I just talked to the security guards, didn't I?
Okay, but I'm now stopping and talking to you. I'm not akin to that conversation, am I? I haven't been there for that conversation.
Well, I'm telling you. Why don't you go and speak to them first, so they can stop me?
Here we go.
Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, I'm entitled to stop and speak to anybody that I believe may be undertaking hostile reconnaissance. Here's the problem. Belief requires reasonable grounds. The auditor isn't hiding, isn't acting suspiciously, and isn't near a sensitive site. He's on a public street. The officer just admitted the real reason, the fact you've admitted to taking photos. Since when is photography grounds for terrorism suspicion? And watch what he claims next about those memory cards.
Let's chuck a controversial one in here. You're telling me you've spoken to them. When's the last time you think somebody lied to me as a police officer?
Probably all the time. I'm not a liar,
well, there we go. But I don't know that, do I?
I've told you what I'm doing. I'm totally entitled to walk around with a camera and film stuff. You know I am, so I don't know what you're going on about. You don't think I'm a terrorist. You know I'm not a terrorist.
I didn't say I didn't think you're a terrorist.
Well, why are you stopping me on the terrorism?
I said my suspicion is. The suspicion is not a statement of fact.
So then you've got to have you've got to have a proper reason for stopping me, other than you just seeing me walking around. Of what? Because I'm walking around with a camera. Well, you better make sure you got this right, mate, because there's going to be a lot of trouble otherwise.
Okay, so why do we now have to resort to threats?
No, I'm not threatening you, am I? I'm just saying I'm not physical trouble. I'm just talking.
Why do we have to resort to a threat?
No, I'm just saying that I'm going to stand my ground. Not now,
because
but
all I've done
in the future, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a police station. I'm going to make a massive complaint. That's what I'm saying.
All I've done is completely engage with you in a polite and courteous manner.
Yeah, but
at no point have I been rude.
Yeah, but no, but I have liberties, don't I?
You do.
Well, then you're infringing on my liberties.
I'm not infringing on your liberties.
You're talking absolute nonsense, mate. I'm walking around with a camera. I've told you what I'm doing. I'm a YouTuber. I'm taking photographs, and you're stopping me on the Terrorism Act.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about why you've chose this particular area, why you've chose this location?
I'm just a YouTuber. I go around and collect footage. Very often I collect footage which I speed up, but there was nothing much going on. I went over to the Royal Mail place over the road there, thinking it'd be busy because it's Christmas. I fly my drone up sometimes, get footage and speed it up, put it on my YouTube channel.
Have you launched the drone today?
Yeah, I've launched a drone today, yeah.
And where is the drone at the moment?
In my bag, here. No, I've done nothing wrong.
You're right, I just speak to Matt again, speak to security.
Yeah.
Can you make up
We'll go and speak to the security now.
I spoke to security, they backed off, were watching me.
Are you able to show us some of your footage then of what you've taken?
I don't actually have to, do I?
It's just been explained to you why.
I mean, if it's going to stop me getting searched and whatever else, then I will, but like, it's just nonsense really. It's a bit over the top for a guy with a camera. I'm totally entitled to walk around this country with a camera. You all know I am, and it's just you're trying to intimidate me by using Terrorism Act and stuff like
We're
that.
Not trying to intimidate.
No, it's a normal police tactic. Throw big words around and scare people with big words. I'm sorry, I'm just messing my phone. I'm not getting it.
We have to attend every incident. This has come on to us as a 999 call over a secure site. We have a duty to investigate that and to make sure that.
Well, for a logistics firm, they got an art installation on the corner there. I stopped to look at that to start with. I stopped to look at the other one on the other side first of all. My camera's on movie mode at the moment. I haven't taken many photos today. It's mostly movie mode because I was taking video of the Royal Mail site up the road there. Okay. So I speed footage up and put it on my YouTube channel. That's what I do.
Okay.
But ridiculous, really. I'm not very happy about. I've got nothing on me, but I'm not happy about being searched just because it's infringement on my liberties, and I've done nothing wrong. So just because it's a sensitive site, am I supposed to know that? I don't know, do I? It's a logistics site with an art installation on the corner. Do you know what I mean? It's like ridiculous, really. What? Security stopped me up the road there and asked me what I was doing, and I told them. And then they followed me down.
We have to find out now what interactions you've had with security.
Yeah.
If you've gone past into any secure areas.
No,
and exactly
not,
what's happened with the drone. All right. Make sure that it's not gone into any.
Yeah, the drone's all right though, because it's the drone. There's no rules on drone flying. Like drone, it says 249 gram drone. I can fly it literally anywhere as long as I've got an app that tells me whether it's restricted or not. And there's no restrictions here other than prisons and hospitals and stuff like that, schools. Even then, you are allowed to fly them. It's just they advise you not to, you know, for obvious reasons.
We'll find out now. Yeah, yes, please. Your assistance would be appreciated.
Surely a terrorist would come around at night or just film it on their dash cam, wouldn't they? Or they'd go.
It would be.
Do you know what I mean? Though it's like surely terror.
You're perfectly at liberty to look at the memory cards. No, officer, you're absolutely not. Under Section 43, you can search for articles that could be used for terrorism. You cannot browse photos without an additional power. The auditor knows this instantly. Don't be silly. No, you're not. That's a citizen correctly correcting a constable. The officer doubles down, orders him to Google it, then pivots to, "We had a 999 call." But a call doesn't create suspicion. That excuse never holds up.
You cannot predict
like
the actions of a terrorist.
Yeah, but this is over. That would be covert surveillance. So surely a terrorist would use covert surveillance. They wouldn't stand out here in the broad daylight with a massive camera on a tripod, would they? They'd go and stand at the back and fly the drone. They wouldn't fly it on the middle of the road, would they? I stood there, like right in the middle of all the cameras. Hello, mate.
We shouldn't try and predict the acts of a terrorist incident, should we really?
No, I know, but like...
Do you know what the main issue is?
That's obviously a sensitive site, is it? I've worked it out now because of the 2 security guards stood outside.
No idea. You probably know more about it than I do.
No, that's all I know.
Do you get what's caused some reaction from the security team down there? What do you think's created a bit of a reaction?
Flying the drone over there.
Over their building. Yeah, I mean you can see it's like got security, it's got barbed wire. Which what would that indicate?
Yeah, but I'm not. But there's no rules being broken on, or laws being broken by flying my drone over that building.
No, we're not talking about laws at the moment. All I'm talking.
Aren't we? I thought we were. No, these guys are talking about searching under the Terrorism Act.
I'm having a conversation with you.
Okay,
nothing more than that. I haven't met you before, so let's start with a clean sheet. Okay. That's what's invoked this reaction is the setup of that business, whatever it is. Would indicate to anybody member of the public that it's private, they don't want people in there for one reason or another. Okay, and when you fly your drone directly over their building and around their perimeter, it's going to cause some issues. And one might argue, what's the necessity to do that? Whilst I appreciate you have freedoms, etc., and all those things, as you've quite rightly pointed out and described to us, they're always going to have a reaction to that, aren't they? Because they don't want you in there. And actually, if we break it down into its most simplest form, there's actually no reason for you to do it, is there?
Well, no, only other than I saw the 2 security guards, and that gets me interested in the building.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, that's an interesting building.
And I understand that.
I was actually out filming other stuff with my drone, and then there's nothing going on, so I started filming.
Would it be fair to say that you understand the point I'm making as well, though? I'm not being.
Yeah, I understand your point. I understand why they. But it's a secure building with barbed wire around it, and they've got 2 security. I'm never getting in there, am I? It's very secure. So
no,
do you know what I mean?
One would argue that if it's secure, there's things in there that they might not want anybody to see. And by you flying a drone over, we all know drones are very invasive. They can look into places that people can't, generally speaking. But that's the modern technology, that's the world we live in now, isn't it? Which is one of those things. So I think we all just need to be mindful of that. If something is a particular private building, then I think we have to take it carte blanche that they don't want drones flying in there because they don't want anybody looking what's in there. Because a drone effectively is your set of eyes, isn't it? But it's an extended set of eyes.
But again, there's no.
No, I appreciate that.
There's no laws being broken by doing it.
But all I'm saying to you is, one person to another. It's let's take it back down to its most simplest form of being reasonable. Being reasonable people. It's reasonable for them to have privacy and security, and it's reasonable for you and I to respect that privacy and security. And if that were to get breached, phone calls get made, things become suspicious then, and that's where my colleagues mentioned Terrorism Act and things like that, because bad people take an interest in things that they shouldn't have. Now, members of the public do as well, and it's almost, if you can kind of accept what we're saying and treat them with dignity and respect and privacy, which is what they're asking for, then probably we're all really good, aren't we? I think.
I'm happy. I'm happy as long as I'm not my rights aren't infringed upon.
No, what I would say to you is, being the reasonable person that I think you are, and I hope you are, if I were to say to you, don't do that again, would that be reasonable and acceptable to you? And would you accept that?
What, to that site?
It depends on the clickbait you'll get, because you're an auditor, aren't you?
I'm not actually. Nah, you see, this is that people often confuse the two. An auditor is someone who goes out and looks for problems on the sites, don't they, like site security and stuff like that. I'm actually just a YouTuber that just speeds footage up.
Okay, come back.
It's slightly different. I carry this because I get stopped a lot, you know. I do. I speak to them. I've been back to the Royal Mail site, and if they come out, at least I've got the security come and attack me. I'm like them guys.
What's your first name? Sorry.
I'm not.
We're not doing that. My name.
I prefer not to.
Okay, that's fine. Let's stick with my conversation a moment, because I think we were kind of getting somewhere. And it's all about respect, isn't it? You know, if I would say to you, don't do that again, I'd like to think that you won't do it again.
No, I won't do it again. I've got no interest in the.
If you can imagine, everything is built around suspicion, isn't it, when it comes to searching people and things like that. If I've just explained to you quite clearly what the upset has been caused by, I think I've done that in a reasonable way, and I think you're obviously a very intelligent chap. You understand what I'm saying and you take that on board. If you were then to continue to do it or to come back and do it, that would take my suspicions from down there to a lot higher, because I think you're persisting in a course of conduct which I've told you could be problematic. And as reasonable people, we go, fair enough, I didn't realise that at the time, but I do now. I'll go and do my stuff elsewhere, which is what I'm saying, really.
Fair enough.
That's my take on it anyway, but that's just from what I've seen. Unless my colleagues has got any other point of view on it. and we're not doing anything else, are we? I don't think. So I think that's kind of the end of it, really.
Fair enough.
Is that?
I'm happy with that, yeah.
Is that fair and reasonable?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's it, then, isn't it? It's job done, then, isn't it?
I'm sure you've got better things to do than what.
That's right.
Here's where ego surrenders. After threatening searches, demanding footage, and implying the drone was invasive, the officer suddenly becomes reasonable. Being reasonable people, it's reasonable for them to have privacy. Notice the shift? No detection, no terrorist, no memory card seizure. Just an awkward request. Don't do that again. When the auditor refuses to give his name, perfectly lawful, the officer backs down completely. No crime, no grounds, just embarrassment wrapped in professionalism. That's not policing. That's saving face.